Welcome, GDQ. Hello. But I believe there is no time to explain. Admiral Gredza is going to destroy us because we interrupted a conversation with his wife. And he's going to destroy our planet, Planet Fever, where we've been grooving for years. And then he's going to tackle on planet Earth. But this is where I come in. I'm Qlex, and I'm accompanied by my wonderful two commentators. If you'd like to introduce yourselves.
Hey, I am Softdrink. How's it going?
And I am m.knight. Hello, resident of Fever Planet and Earth.
That is excellent. They're going to be talking a lot more. I'm going to be talking a lot less. We're just going to get started, and they'll be able to explain everything to you. We're going to be playing arcade mode. Dangun Feveron is a shoot-'em-up made by Cave in 1998, apparently. And it's been ported recently, so I figured I would showcase this goodness through arcade mode, the original one. However, there are not going to be any flashing lights, as you would see in the original, so you don't have to worry about a thing. And now that we have discoed around enough, I believe it's time. Are you ready, m.knight and softdrink?
I feel the fever.
That is
Fever time!
Excellent news. And so I will get to characters select screen, and in just a minute I'll swap the headsets after time starts. And for tech team, the countdown, and for everyone at GDQ, countdown is 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fever is here inside my soul. Let's go.
All right, so this is Dangun Feveron, 1998 vertical scrolling shoot 'em up by Cave, who you might know from previous GDQ events. They're famous for kind of bullet hell style shooters. This is something very different. This is what we would refer to as a caravan shmup. We'll explain a little bit more what that means later. Qlex is going to be playing type B bomb using speed 4, I believe, and this is a kind of a scoring ship. The bomb here is sort of a missile power. We'll explain that a little bit more in a sec. But suffice to say, he's picking the fastest possible type.
Yeah, this game is all about speed, and you'll see how it plays out. Because his goal for scoring, specifically, is going to be destroying enemy waves as fast as possible. He has his main shot, he has his missiles that he drops in order to create explosions and intercept enemies. And even though the stages have fixed length, the faster you kill an enemy wave, the sooner the next one shows up. So you have, and Qlex will speedrun every individual enemy wave in the game to get more waves, to get more points.
Yeah, by defeating each wave, the next wave will spawn sooner. That's what's referred to as a caravan shmup. And the other thing that he's trying to do here is capture all of these falling disco men, cyborgs, before they come off the screen. They'll go to the bottom edge of the screen, then bounce back up and roll up to the top. They're critical for score. There's a counter in the top right here that tracks how many he's picked up. And if he misses even one, that counter will roll all the way back to 0.
And that is very important because that counter is basically the value of everything you destroy. Like if you destroy an enemy and the chain has died, its value will revert to 1 or like 2 or 3 points. But if you keep your chain going, you can get like many points. And that is going to be really important for scoring because Qlex's goal is going to be, well, clearing the game, surviving the onslaught, saving Planet Fever, but also
goes.
Oh, unfortunate. Well, it's still the first stage, so losing the chain there is not the biggest penalty, but it's gonna cut into the boss value because boss value is also based on your current chain and total amount of disco men you've collected. But at least it won't penalize him for survival. So.
Yeah, at that point in the stage, it won't be too much of a penalty. The total number of cyborgs that you collect does influence when you get the extend. I think it's at the life extend is at 2,000 collected.
Yeah, there's a window on the right side with extend info. There's some sort of countdown that was added in the sport that tells you how many disco men Qlex still needs to collect before the one and only one-up in the game will appear. Because yes, this game is difficult and stingy. You get 3 lives by default when you start. There's a 1-up, and that's about it. If you're used to other cave games that usually give you 2 extra lives, a secret life, there's none of that stuff here.
Now, starting in stage 2, one thing you'll notice is very aggressive use of the missiles at the extreme edges of the screen, like going to one side, dropping a missile, going to the other side, dropping a missile. Those missiles, when they hit an enemy, will explode and start a chain reaction if they destroy an enemy. And so you can get situations like this, where an entire wave of enemies is obliterated by just one carefully placed missile. That allows you to clear out the waves much faster. It generates more disco men, which is good for score, but it also requires pretty precise positioning and timing.
Yeah, this is a very advanced weapon. You've seen at the selection screen there were several sub-weapons, and usually people who start the game use roll. I also use roll myself, and it's a pretty flexible weapon, but missile has high potential. Qlex basically knows where every wave is going to spawn, so he drops the missiles in advance, so they can catch the enemies as soon as they appear. And when that happens, he can be on the other side and collect some disco man, do something else, destroy the other side of the enemy waves. It's a very crazy playstyle.
But it does have a little bit of a catch, because if he misses with one of those missiles, then it can throw off the timing for, subsequent enemy waves and even change the entire route a little bit.
Yeah, and that is especially the case because the missiles travel upwards very slowly. So if he misses, yeah, he's gonna wait a long time before the missile is available to use again. And here you use the bomb as well, because you have some safety bombs you can use. There's a counter in the bottom left with B icons in the bottom left of the play area. So those are your bombs. They can help you if you're in trouble. That Qlex decided to save his life here. He saw some bullet that was heading his way, and he preferred to play it safe, which is fine. But those bombs are in limited quantities, and the game will give you some at times, but not a lot of them.
No, and he wants to save as many as he can for a couple scoring tricks coming up in stage 3, and just for survival in the later game.
Yeah.
I noticed here he dropped the missiles very early and low on the screen. They actually build in power, as you can see in that widget on the right, the longer that they exist on the screen. So in a boss fight like this, sometimes you want to drop them very low, very early, so they have time to build up and do more damage.
Yeah, and you could have seen the missiles. They spin faster and faster as they keep moving. But there's not a lot of situations where you can afford to drop the missile at the bottom of the screen and then wait for all the time for the build-up.
Especially because you can only have 3 of them on the screen at once.
Yeah, so usually you'll see him drop the missiles at the top of the screen so that they immediately explode, as to have that missile available again. And now we destroyed the boss parts for the second phase.
But did some damage to the center part of the body before blowing off the 2 wings as a strategy to avoid the most dangerous pattern at the end of this fight.
Yeah, and now the final pattern, yeah, that boss has this crazy green spiral, a Qlex bomb through it for safety, because it's a pattern that's kind of insane and a bit chaotic. And usually, if he hadn't used that bomb earlier, he would have had a free bomb, because there's some more bomb pickups, and he can only have 4 in his stock. So it would have been wasted if he didn't use one here.
He didn't quite max out the cyborg count at the end of stage 2. It maxes at 999, but he got really, really close there at 993.
Yeah, they max out, they cap out at 999 basically, so you can't get more than that. Speaking of disco men and strategies to get more of them, what they did right there was letting an enemy go at the beginning of stage 3. There's some sort of glitch you can do when that enemy is not considered as off-screen or removed, so it prevents some waves from spawning. And you're thinking, wow, but you want more waves to spawn, right? Yes, but here, those enemy waves are the small popcorn enemies that are like very aggressive and shoot those nasty spreads. Because they're no longer there, I mean temporarily, that allowed him to destroy those mid-sized enemies at the top that drop lots of disco men, if you destroy them quickly.
And there's the extent. Again, this triggers when you collect 2,000 disco men, and more casual player would probably see it in stage 4 or even stage 5.
Yeah.
Qlex, because he's been pushing score very aggressively, gets it very early in stage 3.
It's always crazy seeing him get that extent so early. It's like, whoa, this is true fever.
Yeah. And speaking of almost maxing the cyborg count, coming up on like mid stage 3 here. And we're not even at the big scoring trick yet for this stage, although it is coming up in just a moment.
Yeah, and he really wants to max out the disco man as much as he can before said score trick.
All right. So coming up here, in just a moment, there's going to be some turrets that spawn in on the edge of the screen. And he's going to sit directly on top of those and use a bomb to spawn them in continuously over time.
It's possible that he didn't seem to have used the bomb here, probably for safety, because he already used some bombs earlier in stage 2. Like, he used 2 bombs, so one for the boss, which was more or less planned, but he also used another bomb in the stage itself. So maybe he's playing a bit safer here, because if he used those bombs, he could have gotten like a massive amount of points. But those are bombs that could have helped him against boss 3, for example.
Yeah, exactly. And this game is hard. It might not look as visually overwhelming as some of Cave's other shmups, but the bullet speed is really, the patterns are very aggressive and the bullets are very fast. It's a very hard game to actually play. And keep in mind as well that the playership moves incredibly fast when he's playing at speed 4 like this. So precision dodging is very difficult.
Yeah, and it's also a constant battle, you versus the enemies. So if you leave them alive for too long, they will just fire more and more bullets, and so sometimes it makes it, Qlex makes it look like the game is easy, and that's because he destroys enemies so quickly that they don't even have time to shoot all their patterns.
Yeah, and another thing too is that enemies in this game don't have like a ceiling radius. If you're close to enemies in most shmups, they won't shoot at you if you're very close to them to make it feel more fair to the player. But in this game, if you're right on top of an enemy, it will just shoot you. So point blanking the way that he does is very dangerous.
Yeah, there are a few exceptions, but overall you have to be very careful, for sure. And now he cleared boss 3, which is very crazy, because there are some very chaotic patterns. I don't think he even used a bomb on it, so that is
I don't
insane.
think so. Yeah, really strong survival play right now through stage 3. Stage 4 is pretty intense. This is, I believe he said he thinks it's the most difficult stage in the game, assuming that stage 5 goes decently.
Yeah, things can go wrong more easily, and especially in the later section of the stage, there's also segments with like ground enemies. So he better has to be in sync with his route, and because those ground enemies do not spawn dynamically.
Right. You have the interplay of the airborne waves that do spawn dynamically based on how quickly you kill the previous wave. And then also there's some waves that are kind of static, that are grounded enemies or mid-sized enemies or kind of mini-boss type things. And especially in stage 4, that becomes really important because there's so many enemies, so much happening all at once.
Yeah, and so far he's doing very, very well. One of the challenges as well in this stage is that if you let enemies alive a little bit too long, you can get instantly punished because there's some enemies that fire like fast aim shots and others that shoot long lanes of bullets that basically deny you lots of screen space, and because you're moving all over the place and you want to collect the disco man and have a groovy party on the dance floor, you really need to have that screen control.
Yeah, and speaking of screen control, once again, just on point with the missile drops here, taking things out right away as they come on the screen. Nicely done. Yeah,
and the Disco Man chain is still very strong. So despite that accident in stage 1, he's now doing very well on that front.
Yeah, let's not curse it though.
Yeah. Oh man.
Yeah, this is really solid right now.
Because
good bomb there. That was pretty gnarly.
One thing that Qlex wants to do as well, in order to get as high of a score as he can, is to never lose any lives, because there are several reasons for that. Like at the end of the game, if you clear it, you get a bonus for how many lives and bombs you have in stock at the end. And there's also a secret boss which you can trigger, but only if you never lost any life during the run. You can use bombs, but you can't lose any life, and that is easier said than done.
Oh, for sure. I also want to call attention here to placing the missile at the very bottom of the screen because he knows that there's going to be some enemy waves coming from below. This is the only time in the game that really happens at this scale, but it's really important if you don't want to just instantly dive getting rammed from behind.
Yeah, and what was interesting as well is that the chain reaction was very visible there. So he didn't have to keep dropping missiles. Just the explosion of the first enemy by the missile made the subsequent enemies die to the reaction, the chain reaction. And now boss 4, which is pretty difficult, especially with the missile sub-weapon. because you have to destroy like all the parts individually, and there's no piercing damage like you could have with the roll sub-weapon. But so far, like, he managed to destroy a few parts. Destroying a part on this boss will also stun the boss for a little, like maybe a second or so, and clear the screen of bullets. That gives you enough time to breathe, but just barely enough. And now he's like point blanking the boss with the missiles. That is scary to watch.
Yeah, this is this is pretty tense.
And when you think it's over, it's not over. There's still more. And
oh, okay, good bomb.
Wow. Yeah. Yeah, there's usually a planned bomb here on this boss, but
very nice.
2 is fine for survival. So far, so good. Like, wow.
Yeah, and I think that was full chains for stage 3 and 4, which is really, really nice.
Yeah. Like, he now has 4 lives in stock. He has 1 bomb, which is not a lot, but the stage 5 has a few bomb drops, so he will get more, very likely. So this run for now is doing well, and we've cleared stage 4, which was one of the scariest stages. But doesn't mean that stage 5 is easy, because that's very far from the truth.
Yeah, stage 5, he described it as kind of momentum based, where, you know, it starts off going well. Usually it'll keep going well, but if things go wrong, you know, you gotta course correct really fast, or they can spiral out of control very quickly.
Yeah, and I've seen some practice runs where things seem to go well, but even a single death can just like break the entire momentum, and you're no longer in the rhythm and the groove of the stage and the game.
Oh yeah, but I think he's feeling it right now.
Yeah, he's feeling the fever.
Any chance there's
Very
a moment
nice.
for a quick donation?
I think so. Yeah, just one.
All right, we have $40 from Okami No Shu. Hi, Qlex. I'm so glad I can see your run less than 3, and I hope you're having a great time as well. Do your best and keep inspiring us.
Thanks.
That's wonderful. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the Qlex is a very inspiring player, and especially his feats on Dangun Feveron also inspired me to play this game some more and get my own clear. I don't know, I have like a scoring potential, I mean a score as high as his, but I mean, it was interesting to see him push this game to the limits, and just keep playing the game, the passion for disco, because disco is not dead, as you know. Yeah, I've also seen Qlex play this wonderful game at some other events, and he was able to clear it, so maybe he's going to clear it once again. That is looking very good right now, because he still hasn't lost any life, even has like 2 bombs, and he's halfway through the stage, I think. We're going to be reaching soon a ground section, I think, with some giant tanks.
Yeah, there was definitely some concern heading into this run. You know, he wanted to get the clear, to demonstrate some high-level scoring strategies, but also to get the clear. And so, you know, right now, fingers crossed that holds true. Ooh, that was a little close.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. Yeah, you can see Qlex also like just reacting to those things, and the bullets are so fast. It's very hard to react to them when things go a little bit off route, or when the bullet is headed your way. Sometimes you just get shot and you don't even know what hit you.
Yeah, this is really a game where you have to know what's coming and kind of preemptively act instead of reacting a lot of the time, especially deep in stage 5 like this.
Yeah,
and especially on no miss pace.
Yeah, absolutely, and even more so with the missile sub-weapon, where you really have to know your routes. But it's so rewarding, because you can see the cycle of enemies like kind of looping. Like enemies from the beginning of the stage are like back now, and now the giant disco ball, stage 5 boss, the final obstacle. It's such a tough boss.
It's so hard. This first pattern alone is just really gnarly, especially with a higher speed ship like this.
Yeah, unlike many cave games, there's no focus mode here, so he has to have that high speed the whole time. It's good for scoring, but to dodge these patterns, it's getting a bit difficult, to say the least.
Especially with the rapid acceleration and deceleration of the bullets here, like the blue ones that turn or the green ones that just slow and linger on the screen.
Yeah, and here he had to bomb Probably for scoring reasons, because if you bomb, it also freezes the disco man, so it helps you collect them. There was one that was about to fly away, and he didn't want to miss it. Okay, and now he has damaged enough mini orbs, mini disco balls around the core, so that the boss has like moved on to a new phase with these exploding green bullets. And Qlex is gonna try and get like a secret phase. He's gonna try to damage that central orb, that disco ball, that big one that opens up
There you
only.
go.
Like, oh, and he got it. Nice, very nice. So this
Very
phase,
nice.
there's basically a pattern skip. So he managed to get this pattern by damaging the center orb when it was opening, and not killing all the mini orbs around it. Because if he killed all those, the boss would use another pattern that is a lot harder, and Qlex doesn't want that. So you can see how this pattern is. It's a fast. Lots of aimed bullets. So Qlex is very careful. He doesn't want to get hit by those missiles, but he managed to do it. Oh, any final phase now? I think. I mean, there's a few more patterns coming up, but he still has one bomb. Maybe we're gonna see.
Come on.
Oh man, I hope.
Oh.
Oh, what's happening? Is it?
Yo, let's go.
Oh my goodness, this is Fever! Groovy! So here we go. He unlocked that secret boss we were talking about.
Yeah, okay,
He
so
one-lined the game. Oh
This is
my.
wild.
This is insane. Oh boy. Wow. And now I guess we can sort of relax, because there's a fun fact about this secret boss, is that due to the way the player invincibility works and how the player is invincible for the post-boss sequence, well, Qlex is now invincible as well, because in the Japanese version of the game, which is what Qlex is playing right now, the developers forgot to remove said invincibility for the true last boss. That is a blessing in a way, because those patterns are just crazy. Like, remember that he's also playing at max speed, so he has to micro-dodge all these things. It's insane. So unlocking this true last boss is definitely like harder, way harder than actually defeating it, because this is now like, yeah, he's just point blanking with the invincibility. He's just enjoying the fever time now. Oh man, congratulations, Qlex.
All right, and I believe that's time.
Yeah, there should be time. Oh, and the oh,
Excuse me.
13?
That was a true last boss.
Wait, this is insane. And that 13 million points as well. Crazy.
Yeah.
That was a 13.2. I think it probably would have PB'd if I didn't break my chain in stage 1.
Oh, yeah. Always these runs were like the little thing at the beginning, but then you do go on and do great things.
Oh, I'll definitely. It's the third time ever that I've gotten a no miss of this game. So,
And you got it on GDQ.
I got it
with
at GDQ. I could not believe this. This was just crazy. This is time, by the way. I don't know where production is and all that jazz, but yeah, I added an extra like 2 minutes just for the true last boss, just in case, and it turned out. I am shaking. My hands are numb. That's enough groove for one day.
That was awesome.
That was insanity.
13.3.
13.34. That was, yeah, I definitely would have PB'd if I.
Oh, it's all down to one disco, man.
Yeah, it's just the one disco, man. You have everybody has to groove, or you don't get a PB. This is the rule. This is what you have to do.
But you know what? Maybe that one disco man was the one who gave you the strength to then go on and one life the game and face the TLB.
I have to do it for
him.
for Steven over here. I'll always remember you, Steven. Oh man. I think that's about it. I don't want to hog the stream enough. I just want to say thank you so much, GDQ, for having me in here. It's been a pleasure. I hope m.knight and softdrink, you had a wonderful time.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
Thanks for the show, man. That was
Yeah, thank you. That was an awesome run.
Well, okay, a couple of things. First and foremost, thanks to my commentators for accepting this task. A big thank you to Médecins Sans Frontières, Doctors Without Borders, and the GDQ staff for making this thing possible. It's been a lifelong dream of mine since I saw the GDQs at like GDQ 2014 to do something kind of like this with Dangun Feveron, which was a big, heartfelt passion for me. On that note, shout outs to Jamers and Lethe, who are grinding down the scores like really, really strongly. And if you are interested in all of that, I can always recommend you the full extent of the jam by Prometheus that talks about this wonderful journey up until the point where you were disco dancing in front of a lot of people on Twitch. And last but not least, a big thank you to the Restream, especially Le French Restream, La Famille, Gardez la Pêche. I love you so much. Thanks to Yami and Chashamax who did the commentary. And that's about it for me. I hope everybody had a great time. We've danced a lot, and dancing is what makes people happy. So I'll see you the next disco club.
See ya.
Thank you so much for that amazing run by Qlex. Give it up one more time. And we have $15 from Felina that says, a gentle reminder to select an incentive when you donate. More incentives means more SGDQ. Thank you so much for that reminder. With that, we're going to take a brief break. Stick around for more awesome games after this. And welcome back, everyone. We have $25 from Bob Loblaw. Says, thanks to everyone behind the scenes for making it so smooth for us watching. We all appreciate your hard work. Thank you so much for your donation. And we have a few messages. Fangamer is a video game merchandise company based in Tucson, Arizona, shipping worldwide. 100% of the profit from sales of GDQ merch through SGDQ 2023 benefits MSF. Visit fangamer.com/GDQ to see the full lineup. Jackbox Games has party games available on Steam, Nintendo Switch, Xbox, PlayStation, and more. You can play fan favorites like Quiplash, Trivia Murder Party, Drawful, and Fibbage. You can visit jackboxgames.com to learn more about all of the available games. We have $75 from Keegan saying, great SGDQ so far. Shout out to the runners and tech support for doing a fantastic job. Thank you. I agree. Tech team is definitely best team, and runners are all amazing. I do want to remind you that we have, this next game coming up, and then after that, we're going to have N++. And right now, we do have an incentive open for an N++ hard level showcase. If we can reach that total amount, we're at $6,200 out of $7,500, we can get a hard level showcase after the N++ Co-op Legacy X-Row run. So we're almost there, $1,300 away. We can get more GDQ. And I don't know about you, but I always like getting more GDQ in my GDQ. So if you're doing that donate, ! Donate in chat, or if you have the website up, gamesdonequick.com, there's a little donate button in the corner. Go ahead, even just a couple of dollars helps, and then you can put that towards an incentive. And of course, we do have the bonus game later tonight too, if we could reach $100,000. We're at just about a third of the way there, $33,000 out of $100,000. So keep those donations coming. We do have time though, versus the N++ hard level showcase. The time is starting to run out. So get your donations in. Let's see all of this awesome content. And with that in mind, we have a donation here, $100 from Quantum Jump that says, come on, we've got to see this N++ showcase. There's not much time left. Exactly. Thank you so much for that donation. Keep them coming, everyone. We also have a $25 donation from Pacific. Says, MSF is doing amazing work. Thanks, GDQ, for helping out such a great cause. Thank you for that donation. And it's true. MSF is doing this amazing work, and I am so happy to be able to help be here, help raise money for such a great cause. You might be wondering, why do we want to support MSF? You can help MSF save lives. More than For more than 50 years, their medical teams have been reaching those caught in crisis, from armed conflict to devastating earthquakes, with rapid response care. Donors make it possible for them to provide medical treatment to more than 12.5 million people. So all of these donations, so far, this SGDQ 2023, we have raised $536,815, $865. The number just keeps climbing. And that is all going to MSF and that great cause. All right, and we have an interview with ADEF. Take it away.